Hello, and welcome to Everything is Spooky in the Dark, the podcast for WanderingCrystal.com. Grab your favorite blanket and get cozy while I tell you some of my favorite ghost stories. These ghost stories are tied to real history and real locations around the world. First, let's make our way to Scotland and meet the White Lady of St. Andrew's Cathedral. As you walk through the ruins of St. Andrew's Cathedral, you'll find yourself immersed in an uneasy atmosphere created by time-worn spirits spilling out of the historic stones. The haunted tower at St. Andrew's Cathedral is home to a particularly prominent presence, the White Lady, the spirit of a woman said to have died from a broken heart. The White Lady is often seen roaming the passageways of the tower in a long white dress. Reports of White Lady sightings go as far back as the 1800s, when she was often said to scare passers-by with the apparition of her luminous body. Because of the eerie sense of dread which fills the air around the tower at night, most people tend to steer clear of the area after sunset to avoid coming face to face with the beautiful ghost in the white dress. If you do want to get close to her, rumor has it that if you stick your arm through the gun hole at the bottom of the tower, you can shake hands with the White Lady. Many people have said that they felt the White Lady grip onto their wrists and hands, or violently brush against their arm once inside the chamber. Would you shake hands with the White Lady? Next, let's travel to New Orleans and set our sights on the Andrew Jackson Hotel in the French Quarter. The building, which is located on Royal Street, is now home to the Andrew Jackson Hotel, but it was once an all-boys boarding school. Back in the 18th century, New Orleans was a place full of disease and death. During the summers, the yellow fever epidemic ravaged the city, leaving behind a devastating destruction. Due to the fever, many children lost their parents and spent their youths living at boarding schools. The Andrew Jackson Hotel was the location of one of the many all-boys boarding schools in New Orleans. However, if the yellow fever wasn't enough to go through, New Orleans also suffered the wrath of hurricanes and 2 citywide fires. The boarding school was said to shake and sway in the winds of the hurricane before finally succumbing to one of the fires. What a sad ending. The worst part? Well, unfortunately, 5 young boys were trapped inside the building and perished in the fire. It seems that the ghosts of the 5 boys who died in the fire still haunt the hotel today. What's worse than a ghost? That's right, the ghost of children. The boys are often heard playing in the courtyard in the middle of the night. However, they do venture inside the hotel and have fun with the guests. One man claimed that he had been woken up in the middle of the night by the sound of static coming from his television. He said that he had turned off the TV before going to bed. So, when he shifted around in bed and reached over to the table to grab the remote, he pointed it in the direction of the TV and let out a scream, as standing before him was the apparition of a young boy. Other guests have felt their blankets being tugged down at night. Others have heard the water running in the bathroom, went to turn it off, and returned to cartoons playing on the television. The creepiest story of all is those who have woken up to discover that someone, or something, had been taking photos of them from above as they slept in their bed with their digital cameras. Gives me the chills just thinking about it. Would you want to spend the night in a hotel with ghost children? And with that, let's move to our last location, Salem, Massachusetts. Salem is well known for its ties to the witch trials, but it also has a spooky history. Let's visit the bar and restaurant now known as Rockefeller's. Located on the original site of Salem's first church, the building is full of history and murderous secrets. Salem has always been a seaside town full of fishermen, sailors, and pirates. So this tale begins with an old sea captain who fell in love with a young woman named Sarah. The captain relentlessly pursued Sarah. She was not interested because she was in love with another man, a young sailor she planned to run away with while the captain was out at sea. As she was ready to set sail with her love, everything fell apart. Unfortunately for Sarah, the captain returned from the sea early and was so furious with what she had planned that he hit her with a giant plank of wood. She died in the alley next to the old church, and rumor has it that the captain buried her body in the underground tunnels with the help of the church minister. The minister was so distraught by his actions in taking part in this cover-up that he committed suicide. But some say that he was murdered by the captain who thought that the minister would reveal what happened to the police. Today, the tunnels below Rockefeller's are used as offices and storage areas. Staff and patrons of the bar have reported witnessing several spirits, including a blue lady and a man in black who's thought to be the tortured minister. Many think that the blue lady is the spirit of Sarah, searching for her lost love. She's seen so often roaming the bar that she's actually had a drink named in her honor. Be sure next time you're in Salem to stop by Rockefeller's, get a drink, and see if you run into the blue lady. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening to Everything is Spooky in the Dark, the podcast for WanderingCrystal.com. Bye.